in Sweden right now.
Lots
but
how many people did it kill?
I think two people.
Okay, but 2 compared to like 30.
But he was specific. He hurt 8 people. He killed 2 that died in the hospital because of punctured veins and whatnot, and then he died himself because he was shot. One of the few shootings by the police in Sweden, which is another thing that we should cover in some other podcast because it's way too deep.
What, police brutality?
Yeah, it's way too deep an issue.
I really want to talk about that.
That could be a whole nother fucking 2-hour podcast because that has all sorts of connotations.
I could bring my friend Andre, who's also from Sweden, over.
Yeah,
he's my roommate. We live together.
That would be interesting.
I think that would be due, and I think we should probably have also a slightly colorful cast of people here because it affects races in different ways. As a white dude, I'm pretty much fine. All of my interactions with the police have been mostly great. But I went to a smoke shop the other day to buy some hookah gel, and I had a friend there, I think his name is Amir, I just recently met him, he's Middle Eastern, and I forgot what specifically, but he gets absolute hell from the cops for not even doing anything. He can literally just be standing somewhere, and they will talk to him for an hour and harass him, and it's...
Yeah, I mean, I don't want
That's
to
a whole thing.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything on this because I haven't experienced it, and I haven't seen it. Yeah. I mean, so I don't want to speak on a subject that I basically know absolutely nothing about.
I think having a more experienced cast of people to talk about it would be valuable.
Yeah. But back to, guns and fucking violence in school. This guy, he had a purpose. He wanted to kill certain people with immigrant background. Probably because he had been in fucking conflicts with them at some point. Mm-hmm. There are loads of people that I went to school with that has been like, these fucking immigrants. I just want to fucking... and then they go off on a fucking rant. And you go like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. This guy, he had no friend to tell them that.
Right.
He had no friend that could be like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. Because you'll probably die and you will be fucking heckled forever.
Right.
Or just wrong to kill anyone.
Yeah. It's just... It has everything to do with the social situation that the person is in. There's everything to do with... I mean, the US don't really have a gun problem. The US has a psychic health problem, mental health problem, disguised as
That's what I've been always saying,
And I agree that the mental health system in the US, and nobody wants to even, I'm not going to say nobody, of course, I don't want to make sweeping generalizations, but nobody wants to talk about the psychology of it all. Whenever somebody brings it up, people are like, no, it's a political issue. It's like, it's a psychological issue.
It's a psychological issue. It's not a fucking political issue.
And because it is that too, though, because you see all these things online about how, they make out the white shooters to be like, something's wrong with him. He's just a troubled guy.
That is fucking horseshit. They make out every white shooter to be a racist piece of shit.
Exactly.
Because they usually are.
Any controversial nowadays, it's gonna be political.
But then usually, if it's a black person, they're like, he was expelled from school and he did this, and this. And it's like...
I mean... Well, I guess I don't keep track of the mainstream media that much. I have my sources. I do check in on CNN and Fox News, their websites.
Right.
But I don't only stick to that. I have a whole fucking reading list from around the world that I go through to get my fucking news, because that's the only way you can get a balanced picture.
I like Wired. They typically write from, not necessarily a neutral standpoint, but they write with facts only. They source everything. Actually, Cracked.com, they source every single thing they find. They refuse not to. I kind of like reading stuff there. They also provide it in a very comfortable, very comical setting, so that it's not like this.
But you have this fucking thing. I follow a bunch of guys that work for InfoWars on Twitter, which is very fascinating. I learned about Holman Square. Have you guys heard about that? Mm-hmm. In fucking Chicago? It was a police black site where they disappeared people. They brought people there, kept them there until they were, fucking tender enough to confess to any fucking thing. Uh-huh. And then they were just fucking put away.
Yeah.
Also, Hillary is actually suggesting that if she gets presidential powers, that you should do a gun confiscation the way that they did in Australia. Thing is, think about who are the gun nutters in this country. They're very much the people that I've spoken with, constitutionalists. It's in the Constitution that they are allowed to have those guns to protect themselves against a tyrannical government. Mm-hmm. What will happen when the government tries to take their guns away?
They'll fucking fight back.
You will have so much
like,
fucking gun violence going on that is going to be sick. What you can do is to stop selling.
It's part of the amendment.
Yeah.
We shall form militia if government turns bad.
I do agree. I also think anyone who rebels is a bit silly because, we have drones and bombs and your ass will be gone in a fucking millisecond.
It's about making that stand for these people.
Right. Well, and for what it's worth, all of the people I know that actually own guns, which I don't have the tendency of making friends with shady people, but nonetheless, all of the people that I know that own guns are very extremely responsible. My friend Thomas, I went over to his house. They have a safe that they keep all their guns in. Before they let anyone out, you have to go to their father.
Hold on. So the safe, if your gun's, the purpose of your gun is to protect yourself. If you put it in a safe, how is it going to protect you?
Yeah.
That's my question for
because you can open the safe in like 5 seconds.
But what if the guy is in the same room where you keep the safe?
But the house has an alarm that the second anyone breaks in, it's
what if you don't? Some people don't have alarms in house,
but they do.
Yeah, but here's
but anyway, hold on.
Bill Burr makes an excellent point.
Let me finish. So you have to talk to Papa before you can touch the guns. He comes down, he gives a little seminar about, okay, here's the safety, absolutely no doing this, and this. Here's your ammo. Be safe. Don't do anything stupid because you'll be in deep shit if you fuck around.
Yeah,
and we're extremely safe. We go to a range, we shoot very responsibly, we clean up all of our brass, and we take it home with us. And very responsible. And I think if those sorts of people own guns, that's fine, because they've proven themselves. But I think you should, and I think you were talking about this with having children the other day too, you should have to get a very extensive license that says, like, I can have children because I will be responsible with them, I won't mistreat them.
I mean...
Same way with guns. If you treat them responsibly and you know what you're doing, sure.
Yeah, but how the fuck are you going to enforce it? That's the dilemma.
Yeah.
What I bring up is, thought experiments.
Yeah.
When I go on these kind of rants.
It's a good idea.
I mean, it would be fucking beautiful if we could enforce, we need to get rid of assault rifles. Let's say that's what you want to do. How the fuck do you go about that? Exactly. Especially when most people that own assault rifles are these fucking constitutionalists that will fight back.
Yeah. Well, and also, just to break into that, if we wanted to go get guns right now, and I think this is a huge problem, we go to Arizona, go to a gun show, they might check my ID, but as a white male purchasing a gun in Arizona, not even that necessarily, you don't even have to be white, but they wouldn't even question me. I'd say, here's your money, they'd say, here's your gun, and they'd hand me a gun.
Thing is...
That's kind of tragic. That should not be. Because 90% of the guns that are in the Mexican cartel come from the U.S. That's some shit. We can complain about the cartel all we want, but we armed them. Willingly or not, we armed them.
I don't know enough to make any sort of accurate statement about this.
That's amazing. I would think you should really check.
Yeah, I need to check in on this. But basically, Bill Burr has a point about gun safety. If you get a gun for protection and you go into like I'mRight.org to get all those healthy tips,
yeah,
you get to learn that you keep the stock in the garage and you keep the ammo in the safe and then you keep the fucking scope in the living room. But what the fuck are you going to do when this fucking psycho is in your fucking living room?
Exactly,
you're running around trying to assemble your fucking gun and like, where's the scope? It's in the living room. He's in the living room! What the fuck are you going to do? I mean, if you have it for protection, you should have it loaded right next to where you sleep, under the pillow, and your fucking jam sleep just going poof, and then bang.
Well, and I will contribute, though, and say that the kind of people, and this is statistics, I will desperately try and find the article that I read about this that says it, and they sourced it very well, that the kind of people who own guns for protection are way, way more likely to shoot their own child in the face in what they think is a home robbery situation than they are to actually stop robberies.
Yeah, of course, but it's fucking Darwinism at work.
Yeah, but
elaborate. Why does Darwinism at work?
Because stupid people
will do stupid shit, which means that the stupid people will be out of the
exactly that's the issue. We should do a mental check before you sell out guns.
Yeah, of course. But
allegation.
Yeah. How the fuck are you going to get back the guns that are in circulation? There's no way that it's going to happen.
That's my point exactly. So we should actually loosen the gun control.
I mean, that is a possible way to
that's
go.
what I said. If everyone has a gun, nobody will shoot each other because
or everyone will shoot
he might
everyone
have a
because we
bigger
don't know
gun.
that because people are fucking idiots.
The people that have the right mindset, that are not crazy, should have a gun.
Yeah,
balance each other.
I also think we need a significantly, amazingly better psychological system in our country because we also just stigmatize therapy in a way that is very unhealthy. People think it's that very Freudian, like,
dude,
sitting on a couch,
gonna say that.
sitting on a couch in a dim room, and they're going to ask you questions. It's like, that's not at all what therapy is like.
No.
Dude,
and everybody should go to therapy. Literally everybody. Because
it's
just
mental illnesses, it's like physical illness. It's like depression's like a cold. If you don't treat it right away, it might get worse. You know,
it definitely.
You want vaccination, which is like guidance and counsel.
I think
kind of
both
shit.
Frederick and I have dealt with depression in the past, so we know a little
yes,
bit. And
you? Me too.
Oh,
yeah,
that's why I know it.
I always have him medicated on the fucking pills that they prescribe to you, the fucking mood alterations.
Yeah, I was using the what is it called? It gets me really drowsy.
Prozac?
Yeah, no, not Prozac. There's this one.
Prozac is the most usual here.
What I hate about the pill, it just gets you so foggy.
I should almost certainly post this. It's Adult Swim made this video called "Unedited Footage of a Bear," and it's like 10 seconds of that, and then it's this long commercial for a drug called Claradril, and it's to deal with like anxiety, I think. But they're making a statement on the pharmaceuticals industry because like the commercial turns like really like weird and violent, and the person who's on the medicine starts like having like these weird mental shit going on, and that often is the case. Oftentimes pharmaceuticals, the stuff that they prescribe you, A, heinously expensive because somebody needs to be rich somewhere, and B, oftentimes the side effects are a million times worse than
the fucking side
effects. TV commercial usually 60%, 70% of the time the commercial, they're saying the side effects.
Yeah.
And why would you buy that drug? Like, are you listening to it? Like, it tells you might die, you might have, like, hemorrhage.
Suicidal tendencies.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fucking buy an ounce of weed and go home and...
go natural. There we go.
Seriously. Buy an ounce of weed, go home and watch Family Guy and smoke some shit and make sure that you have munchies close by.
Hey, here's a shout out to our viewer. What is it? 420 Blaze It _
Yeah, most of my followers on Twitter are, different stoners that just keep on putting up loads of stoner related shit.
That cracks me up.
Well, I don't consider myself a stoner. I'm a medical marijuana patient. I'm just kidding.
I don't mean to sound like a hipster, but I actually smoke all of my weed on vinyl. Sorry, I refuse to have it on any other system. It just sounds so weird on vinyl. That's how I also watch all of my movies, and that's how I sleep at night. I sleep on vinyl.
Yeah,
it's the cleanest system. It just sounds great. Sounds great.
Of course. When I'm high, only eat organic mac and cheese.
I'm sorry to cut it off here because it's a bit of a weird note, and we went from very briefly talking about video games to guns, all sorts of weird shit. But I gonna have to take a shower and head to my rehearsal. It's a show. There's gonna be people in front of us staring at us, watching us do this thing.
And I'm coming to see you.
Bring it on. Last night kicked every kind of ass. We had a great audience. We had great spelling volunteers, and I think very, very good show on our part, acting wise, and all that. So
I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait.
I will post a little note on it in the pre-announcements that I do.
Yeah, you don't even have to. Tonight's the last weekend.
Yeah, but I still want to say how it was
tomorrow. Oh,
yeah.
No, feel free to review it. But I was gonna say no point in putting up an ad because it's by the time people even fucking hear this, it'll be done. It'll be gone.
Definitely. But still, I mean, I think it's a good idea.
It's been a great production too. I've been enjoying it. I don't just to quickly wrap up because you're both theater people too. I kind of dig the 2-week system because the rehearsals are really fast and everybody learns their shit like pretty quickly, and it's kind of exhilarating. But I kind of like the month system more because you get more into the theater family, you get closer with your cast, and you just get more time to perform it.
1 month is actually very rapid for me since coming here. I've had to do a big adaptation because in Sweden you usually get 2 months.
Yeah.
That's a long time for it.
We get some shows,
yeah. But we also do, when we do Shakespeare, we don't do it like a 2-actor.
Right.
If it is a 3-actor, we do the fucking 3 acts. If it is a 5-actor, we do the fucking 5 acts. Okay. And each act will be around fucking 40 minutes. So, so you do need those 2 months. And if you do it like that and you don't, cut out unnecessary shit, you have loads of